What's up, Bat family? Welcome back to the Build a Trader YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be going over our weekly technical analysis as well as economic news for the upcoming week. The current time is 1:15 p.m. Market opens in 45 minutes, so we're not going to waste too much time yapping. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the economic news for the upcoming trading week. Alrighty, first up on Sunday, pre-market open, so 15 minutes before the market opens, we have New Zealand dollar retail sales data. And we also had German federal elections, which was all day. Following that, Monday, 1 hour into London open, 1 a.m., we have medium impact news for the euro, which is German IFO business climate. Let's check this out real quick. It's basically a survey that surveys 9,000 businesses, which asks them to rate the relative level of current business conditions and expectations for the next 6 months. That's interesting. After that, we have news on Tuesday during New York session. We have S&P CS Composite 20 HP. What is even this? Okay, this particular news measures the change in selling price of single-family homes in 20 metropolitan areas. That's an interesting news event. I'm not certain if I've seen that before. Moving on, we have Conference Board Consumer Confidence for the US dollar during 7 a.m. During New York session, high impact news for the US dollar. And then during Asia session, we have Consumer Price Index for the Australian dollar. On Wednesday, we have medium impact news for the US dollar, new home sales, and crude oil inventories. And we have G20 meetings all day long during Wednesday. Thursday, London session, we have gross domestic product for the Swiss franc, and we have Spanish flash consumer price index for the euro. Pre-New York open, we have preliminary gross domestic product for the US dollar and unemployment claims, which are both high impact news events. In addition to that, we have core durable good orders, and preliminary GDP price index. All that is medium to high impact news pre-New York open. Following that, we have pending home sales for the US dollar 30 minutes into New York open. In addition to that, we have G20 meetings all day long during Tuesday. During Asia session on Thursday, still the same day, 1 hour into Asia open, we have Tokyo Core Consumer Price Index for the Japanese yen. And we have German Preliminary Consumer Price Index, which is a high impact news events for the euro all day long. Lastly, on Friday, pre-New York open, we have gross domestic product for the Canadian dollar, as well as core personal consumption expenditures price index, which is high impact news for the US dollar. Core PCE price index. PCE is personal consumption expenditures. Shortly after that, we have Chicago PMI, Chicago Purchasing Managers Index, which is medium impact news for the US dollar. And to end the week, during market close, we have high impact news for the Chinese yuan, which is manufacturing PMI data. Should be a wild week to end the month. Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Lots of opportunity. There is high impact news every single day during New York and London session, and even during Asia some of the days. So be aware of the news when you are trading any one of those sessions. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with gold. Last week on gold, we called a really big trade, really big signal from, well, this is the setup here. Buy zone 28.95 between 28.95 and 29.01. Take profit 1, 29.20, and it eventually extended up to take profit 2 at 29.30. So that was nice, but let's go ahead and remove this as this is no longer relevant. So let's see here. Right hand side will stop with weekly time frame. Left hand side will go to the daily time frame. Let's go ahead and fix this previous week's high, as our previous week's high is going to be this wick up here. We made a new all-time high last week, but however, we can see that gold rejected and came back down very sharply. Now, this doesn't mean that the overall bullish trend is done and over with, but we did see some rejection at an area of resistance because price made a new all-time high. We can see down here was our previous week's low, right on this level of support. So this was our low point last week. Yeah, right on that support. Let's move this over. Just like this, perfect. We have multiple wick rejections right here at the 29.30 to 29.25 price range, even as low as 29.20. That was due to news though. Let's go ahead and zoom out some, go to the 4-hour time frame on the left and daily on the right hand side. We have a level of support that's forming here and an area of demand that we can create. Let's adjust this area of resistance as our high is the 29.50 price range. There we go, that looks a lot better. So we can see prices clearly in this range between 29.50 and 29.25, we'll say. 29.50, 29.25, that's a $25 range that gold is playing in here. Let's remove this previous area of supply. Okay, so we can see that we hit an area of resistance, 29.40, but on the daily time frame, we closed with major wick rejection. Although it's still a bearish candle, we can see bullish pressure building on the lower time frame right here on the 4 hours. So we have this area of resistance right here. Price pulled back and created some type of rejection here. So we can see a higher low forming. It looks like the next move is looking to be like this. Another attempt at 29.50. This area would need a hold. If it doesn't, we could see a bearish candle print, come down, and then potentially see that bullish move. On the right hand side, you would see some type of wick rejection here on the daily time frame and then a continuation. If we don't get some type of liquidity sweep or the slow isn't broken, then we could just see a bullish move with a slight pullback to start the week. A little pullback and then see a little rejection here and then eventually break above 29 up to 29.50. This one I'm seeing currently. Let's zoom out a little bit more, or zoom in a little bit more on the right hand side. Currently looking at the 12-hour time frame, and you can still see some type of higher low forming here at this area of demand based on the 4-hour time frame. If on the 12-hour time frame we get some type of pullback, it's literally the same setup. If we get this, let me draw it real quick. If this low right here is broken, 29.32, where this minor support is, and we get a bearish candle that breaks below it, comes down and retests this area at 29.30. On the 12-hour time frame, this would look just like a minor pullback. We'd see it come down and then find some support, and then flip bullish and continue with the overall bullish trend. Overall, I do still see gold trending higher. I don't think it's over. It's still targeting 3,000 price range. Let's go ahead and see where we may end up this week though. So we did hit our projection levels based off last week, and we're going to measure our previous week's candle with the Fibonacci's, and we're still targeting the overall green zones. This week we may see it price extend up to 29.70, maybe a little higher than that. up to 2973.5 is what it says, but I'm seeing 2960, 2970 price range potentially this week. And potentially up to $29.99, which is the 3,000 price range. That may happen this week, or what I find to be more probable is going to be the start of next month, where we could see gold targeting 3,000. But overall, gold's still bullish. May get a pullback down to 29.30 price range, and then a continuation higher, or a slight pullback to start the week, and ultimately continue higher up to 29.50 and up to the 29.60, 29.70 price range this week. We'll see how it plays out, but I am thinking we will see a pullback down to 29.30 area first before we continue higher. Alrighty, so silver here. Let's go ahead and zoom out some. We called 2 signals on silver this week. We did not hit our take profit price, but we still closed these trades profitably and managed them very, very well. So happy for that. The only one that hit our take profit this week was the gold signal, but this was the setup we were seeing on silver. We took buys. We were able to exit when we saw this bearish candle close, and then next candle opened bearish, but we were already out of the trade. We closed our profits, or closed for profits of 20 to 30 pips, and then called the trade once more. We hit a high of 33.2. Our take profit was 33.4 at the end of the zone, and then up to 34. But as you can see, we could not sustain above $33 and ultimately could not find support, and we ultimately came back down. But we were able to exit the trade at the 33 price range. As I saw that we were struggling to break higher, and it was wise just to take the profits as we were already up on the week. And that's what trading's about. Sometimes you can't marry the trade. You can come back and reanalyze and see what did or what could happen and take the setup again, or evaluate how you missed the move and see how you could have kept yourself in the trade longer for next time. So the right hand side, we're on the weekly time frame, left hand side daily, and on the right hand side you can see we had a bullish candle close, but we did have some strong wick rejection. Daily candle is a bearish candle on the left hand side, closed very bearish on Friday. If we look at last week's price action with the Fibonacci tool, we can see that if we are able to continue this bullish trend, we may see 33.5 this week, which is in line with our trade signal from last week. So we may be able to take the same setup if we get the right confirmation again. Let's adjust our previous week's low to where the low actually was, which is up here. Price hit a low of 31.9, right under $32, and then had very strong bullish price action from that point. If price is able to sustain and continue bullish, we could see 33.5 up to $34, which is in line with what we were seeing. Let's zoom in a little bit. 4-hour time frame on the left hand side, and then 12-hour on the right. We could see just another setup from this particular level of support, and same exact setup as last week. We could potentially take this. There is heavy bearish volume though, so I almost feel like it's going to potentially go a little lower. Let's see here. We could come down lower where the stop loss is and price take liquidity, and then that'd be the driving factor. So I could definitely see that happening. We do have some bullish candle pressure on the lower time frame. If we go to the 30-minute and 1 hour and a 15-minute, you can see that the previous bearish candles were low volume. Then we get one strong bullish candle and close that to end of the week. So we could see a move from this point, and that could kick us off to drive us up to the 33.5 price range. Or we may get a break below of the 32.5 price range and a liquidity sweep towards 32.3 and then see that bullish move. But overall, bullish on silver. Just we may get some type of bearish move to start the week, or you may continue pushing from where it's at the 32.5 level support. Next pair we'll be looking at is the NASDAQ 100 and then the US 30, and those are all that we're covering this week. Alrighty. On the right hand side, we are looking at the weekly time frame, and left hand side daily time frame. Let's go ahead and update our previous week's high and previous week's low areas. Here we are. Let's remove this zone here, and we will adjust this level here to 22,050 price range. So what can we see? We had a strong bearish week for the NASDAQ 100. Price opened bullish. Made a new all-time high. Did we make a new all-time high? Let me check. Yeah, price did make a new all-time high to start the week, and then we projected very strongly, came back down to this area here. Let's zoom in a little bit to the 4-hour time frame on the left and the 12-hour on the right. We have an area of demand down here at the 21,500 price range. Price may continue down a little bit lower, which is 100 points from where we closed at 21,600. If price opens bullish, there is potential for price to come up and retest the 21,900 to 22,000 price range before potentially continuing lower. From there, we could see a strong bullish move up to that 22,500 price range, and eventually potentially up to the 23,000 price range. We could see a move like this. If not, then we just may open with strong bearish pressure all the way down to 21,500, 21,400 price range. Overall, NASDAQ is showing some weakness, but it is still bullish on the monthly, and overall higher time frame is still bullish. We would need to see where price goes to start the week, and potentially may just have to keep the trades shorter term to scalps, as it's a little bit hard to see the overall trend here. But even when we apply the Fibonacci tool, we still have our zones lining up where our green zones are. We have the extensions, negative 27% and negative 61.8%, lining up with our first take profit area of the 22,300 price range. So overall, I still believe price is bullish. Just depends how we start the week on the weekly candle. But I do think there is potential for a higher low down here, and we continue trending higher. Next, we'll be looking at the US 30. This particular pair has not been performing so well. We had a strong pullback, strong bearish week. As you can see here, we broke structure on the weekly time frame and broke support at 44,000, 43,900 price range. You can see that the overall analysis from last week did not line up. We had that consolidation and ultimately just broke lower. Let's adjust our previous week's low and our previous week's high to the proper areas of where we were for last week. So as you can see, strong bearish candle on the right hand side, Major support broke. We may be starting to move to a bearish trend here. We could see 42,000. There is a lot of downside room to go. So from where we are currently at down to here to 42,000 would be a nearly 1,400, or a little over a 1,400 point move. There is potential for a pullback from where price closed. Could see a move up to 44,000 before potentially continuing lower. Overall, price does look bearish. If we use the Fibonacci tool, we can see that 43,000, this price range here at this level of support, is definitely on the books if we continue this bearish trend. So down here, we can turn this green. And if we get that pullback and see that rejection up here, this could be a good setup to get in on. Basically a 2-hour trade. If we see a retracement up to the 43,900, 44,000 price range, stop loss above this 12-hour candle high, you can put it at 44,300, and that would increase your risk reward a little bit. So you could get over a 2.5-hour risk reward trade on this potential bearish move. This looks pretty clean to me. But overall, bearish for the US 30, targeting 43,000, and we may see a pullback up to 43,900, 44,000. I'm going to set an alert here just in case we get that, and this could be a really good trade signal if we get this set up. Alright, I did say this would be the last pair, but we will cover Bitcoin real quick just because, you know, we do every single week. This pair hasn't been really doing much, which is why I was leaning towards not, but here we are. Price ran to this level of resistance here, still consolidating in this area, so it's not looking too exciting at the moment, but pressure's building. We can see that price had a strong bullish move up, broke above 98,000. To me, I thought once price broke above 98,000, we could see that strong bullish moves up to 100K and beyond, but we quickly rejected, could not sustain above. We did not even break to 100K, and overall just reversed. Monthly time frames looking bearish, weekly time frame, multiple wick rejections. So volume is looking like it is slowing down, and price is just consolidating, as we can see, but something's building here. It does seem like that bullish move is coming. There is still a lot of downside space that price can fill and come down to 90,000 and even to 88,000 still. But overall, the trend is still bullish. If we adjust our technicals a little bit to make it a little more relevant where price is now, we have this tight range, and if this next candle prints bullish on the daily time frame, breaks above right here, we could see that bullish volume start stepping in, especially when the previous day's high was broken. That would give us the confirmation we need. But with it closing bearish, it could break below this area of demand / support and drive lower. But we'll have to see. Overall, we would need some type of bullish candle close above 98,000, 98,500, and that would give us the true confirmation that price will continue higher, right above this area of resistance. But overall, still bullish, just waiting for price to break out of consolidation. that's all I have for you guys this week. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all had a fantastic trading week last week. If you haven't already, go ahead and join my free Telegram channel. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, X. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I'm trying to work on some more educational content here next week, so hopefully I have something more to offer aside from just the analysis videos. But without further ado, I hope you all have a great trading week. Stay tuned and keep notifications on so that you guys can get the trading signals that I'll be sending this week. Looking to send between 1 and 3. Last week I sent 3, so 3 again would be nice. So, all right. See you all soon. Thanks for the support. Have a great weekend. Peace.